Hi friends, today I'll discuss RHUS TOX in relation to fever. I hope you must have seen my previous videos on RHUS TOX nose and RHUS TOX throat symptom. There is a very typical symptoms of RHUS TOX fever, and you must remember that. RHUS TOX fever is with pain. The patient complains of pain in the body with fever. Of course, whenever there is pain with fever, you must think about Bryonia alba and Cantharis and Euphorbia perfolatum. Of course, Euphorbia perfolatum break bone fever is something different. Bryonia pain is different, but RHUS TOX fever is with pain. A very important symptom of RHUS TOX fever is motion brings on chilliness. And the patient comes and tells you, डॉक्टर साहब जब भी मैं बहुत उठ के चलता हूँ या कुछ हरकत करता हूँ, थोड़ा बहुत काम करता हूँ ना, ऐसे मुझे क्या बोलते चिलीनेस लगता है, ऐसे कांटे आ जाते फीवर के. दैट इज अ वेरी वेरी टिपिकल सिम्टम ऑफ फीवर ऑफ RHUS TOX. दैट इज मोशन ब्रिंग्स ऑन चिलीनेस. This symptom is present in lot many of remedies that you have to remember. The first is Nux vomica, second is Arnica, third is Apis mellifica, Stannum metallicum and Mercury. In these remedies also motion brings us chilliness, but as I told you, RHUS TOX fever is with pain. RHUS TOX also has a very important symptom, fever because of suppressed perspiration. A typical case, when the patient is coming from the sun, he's totally perspiring, immediately comes in the AC and the perspiration dries up. In the night, the patient has fever. And a very interesting case, the patient was working as a medical representative, so he had to visit every time. So he comes from, he perspires, comes in the chamber, and chamber is an AC chamber. The perspiration dries up very easily. Next day he gets fever. A very typical symptom of RHUS TOX, that is from suppressed perspiration there is fever, pain in the body and motion brings on chilliness. In fact, a very interesting symptom of RHUS TOX in relation to perspiration is there, that fever is better by perspiration. So if you suppress the perspiration, fever comes, and perspiration emulates the fever. You must remember one remedy that is very very close to RHUS TOX, where it is written that fever is better by perspiration, or perspiration emulates the fever. That is arsenic. And one very rarely and infrequently used medicine in this case where fever is better by perspiration is Lycopodium. A very typical symptom of RHUS TOX fever which I have seen in my practice is walking in open air aggravates the fever, or walking in open air after fever, walking in open air the fever gets aggravated, or there is fever after walking in open air. So these 4-5 symptoms, of course there are other symptoms of RHUS TOX in fever, but these 4-5 symptoms which I have seen in my practice confirmed in lot many of patients. So remember, fever with pain, motion brings on chilliness, fever from suppressed perspiration, and perspiration emulates the fever, and walking in open air aggravates the fever, or you can get fever after walking in open air. So my dear friends, very precise, very concise and very focused symptoms of RHUS TOX fever which I have seen in practice. So dear friends, if you like this video, do share and subscribe. Thank you.